StudyIQ IAS. अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल.
Hello, Namaskar, Namaskara, Namaskaram, Namaskar. My name is Pooja Devedi. Welcome to my class, The Daily Current Affairs, where we learn significant events of the past 24 hours in such a manner that it is going to help you not only from the perspective of your prelims examination, but also for mains examination and thereafter for the interviews as well. Because the questions, although they are formulated on the pattern of the prelims examination, but the knowledge that you gain throughout the explanatory phase, you will garner a lot of encouragement for your mains as well. So do not think that this is just for the pre, but also for the mains and the interviews. Also, this is going to be a very helpful class for those who do not have any idea about the current affairs or who do not like current affairs. You will start to love it once you regularly attend this class, because once you are aware of something, you start enjoying it. Right now you might not be aware of the current affairs so much. You might not want to be continuously be updated throughout the day. So that is why this series is going to help you through that also. All right, so if you're new to this channel, make sure that you like, share and subscribe, because if you'll subscribe and turn the notification on, whenever there will be an important class from the perspective of your examination, you will be updated about this. Okay, so now moving on, I provide the notes of whatever I teach here through my Telegram channel, that is by the name of Pooja Devedi UPSC. So once you search for it on your Telegram channel, you will find it. I provide all the important classes that I take over here through that. I also provide the monthly compilation. So now we are nearing the end of the August. I will provide the monthly compilation through the form of Google Drive. All right. Other than this, if you have any queries about this examination, you can talk to me on my Instagram. Also, do take care of yourself right now, because we are in a transition phase of weather. So please do not get sick. Otherwise, your exams and your preparation will be impacted. So these are the various events that we have to cover. I hope your studies are going well. Many of the students have answered the last question, practice question correctly. I will take your names by the end of this particular class. And the first question is sick man of Europe. There is a country which is being called the sick man of Europe. We are going to discuss that first. Okay. So P2I batches are launched from 23rd of August and they are closing from 31st of August. But we are right now running a discount. I will tell you about it. P2I batches are the foundation batch for not only prelims and mains, but also the interviews, study materials, prelims test series, mains test series. Everything will be covered over here. A campus study program is also introduced in this. If you have qualified UPSC 2024, you will be called to the StudyIQ campus and you will prepare there with us for 4 months for just the mains examination. After that, we will prepare you for the interviews as well. If you use the code PDLive, you will get this at a discounted rate. I will tell you the discount. This is the current rate, but even lower prices are there. I will tell you about it. So which of the following countries is being called the sick man of Europe? It is a label that is generally given to sick economies or tattered economies in Europe. Right now, it is Germany. Germany is being called the sick man of Europe. So this is Europe's biggest economy. It is stagnating. In the second quarter from the previous 3 months, its economy is stagnant and stagnating further. That is why it is being labeled as a sick man of Europe, the sick man of Europe. And many ages ago, it was earlier also called the sick man of Europe. So it is one of the world's weakest major economies right now. Year on year, adjusted GDP contracted by 0.2% in the second quarter. After first, second quarter we have here also. Because there is a weakness in the vast industrial sector. Its industrial sector is weakening. Other problem is that it has a lackluster performance by exports. It's not exporting much. That is why its economy is getting stagnant. Also, rising Eurozone interest rates and the struggling economy in China. This is Germany's largest trading partner, China. So you see, this is one of the hindrances of the globalization. When Chinese economy is in tatters, it is being spilled over to the German economy as well. All right, let's move forward. If we talk about the Ottoman Empire of 1914, the sick man of Europe is related to that. The Ottoman Empire in 1914 was commonly known as the sick man of Europe, a sign that the once great power was crumbling. It could be basically due to economic reasons. Back then, it was much more due to expansionary reasons or political reasons. The Turks had dominated the Eastern Mediterranean, as you can see here. Eastern Mediterranean were dominated by that for half a millennium, controlling vast swathes of not only Central Europe but Arab islands as far as the Egypt, and that is why they were great power. But when they started crumbling, they were called as the sick bed of Europe. Now, if we talk about the discount that I was talking about, if you use the code PD Life from today onwards, we are giving a Raksha Bandhan discount. Okay, and it will be valid till 31st of August. 31st August is also the last date to take admission. Use the code PD Live, then you will get it for 27,999 only. It's much down from 29,999. Already it was 70,000, then 29,999, finally this. With respect to cryptocurrency, consider the following statements. Cryptocurrency is used anonymously. That means who is using it or who is adding the blocks to the cryptocurrency in the public ledger is anonymous. To conduct transactions globally between account holders, China, Bangladesh, Egypt, Morocco, and Nepal are some of the countries where cryptocurrencies are banned, not in use, not accepted. In India, a 30% tax will be charged on the earnings from the transfer of digital assets that include cryptocurrencies, non-fungible tokens, etc. So how many of the statements given above is or are correct? Cryptocurrencies, okay, one thing I would like to add, cryptocurrencies have been in the news in such a long period of time. And many of the students ask me that, ma'am, from when to when should I read current affairs? It's actually more relevant if you're in touch with current affairs on a regular basis. Okay, this particular statement, the third statement, is related to the budget of 2022. If you haven't read that, if you haven't been in touch with that, then it is hard for you to answer the third question, third statement. Also, make sure that you read and reread the statements that are given, because UPSC is all about mindfulness, attentiveness, and revision. Anybody who says that prelims is not doable, no, it is doable. But if you're using the correct strategy, if you're not using the correct strategy, even after 5 to 10 years, you may not want, or you may not be able to qualify prelims. But it's all about strategy. Also, make sure that you are revising your concepts. Then only you can answer this question. This question is more conceptual, and then we have the factual part. Factual part is generally related to data or some things that have been stated. So that is why it is important to brush up both concept and the fact. So cryptocurrency is used anonymously. Yes, that is why it is such a big problem. There is no middleman. There is no, we can say, a bank that is going to regulate it. When there is a lack of all these infrastructure, what happens? It is very easy to stay anonymous and conduct transactions through the blockchain technology, the cryptocurrency. But recently the government has said that we are going to regulate it. We are not going to leave it like that. There are many countries where cryptocurrency is banned. China, Morocco, Egypt, Nepal, these are certain countries. First statement is correct. Second is also correct. In the budget of 2022, Finance Minister said that a 30% tax will be charged on the earnings from the transfer of digital asset that include cryptocurrencies, NFTs. Okay, so both the first and the second are correct. Third is also correct. All three statements are correct. All three will be the correct answer. Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Business 20 Summit has called for more regulation for cryptocurrency, and international framework should be developed. But how will we develop an international framework when right now we do not have a proper legislation with respect to it? Although there is a crypto bill, but that hasn't been passed as of yet. There are certain phase-wise developments that have taken place in India with respect to cryptocurrency. It is important to be aware about that. Then only you can answer any other question. Okay, cryptocurrency is what? It's a digital payment system. That means it exists not in the physical format but digital format. And it doesn't rely on banks to verify transactions. That is why it is very easy to do it. Also, the maintenance cost is low. It's a peer-to-peer system that can enable anyone, anywhere, to send and receive payments. It's available in the form of digital entries to an online database describing specific transaction. When supposedly I am transferring the cryptocurrency fund. Now, when one transfers cryptocurrency, the transactions are recorded in a public ledger, which is accessible by anyone. Anyone can join it. Unlike the banks, if I do not have an account in supposedly the Yes Bank, I will not be able to make transactions from there. But it is not the case with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is actually stored in digital wallets. Also, because they use encryption, they use secret codes. That is why they are known as encrypted currencies or cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, Dogecoin or Dogecoin, it is Ethereum. These are certain cryptocurrencies that are used. Now, supposedly A wants to transfer money to B. A transaction will be done. The first transaction will be seen as a block, and that block will be spread to various networks. Then, when it is approved as a valid transaction, another block will be added. This particular block which was started as transaction will be added. Now this can't be changed. That is why we are calling it an encrypted currency, and B receives the money from A. This is how it is done using the blockchain technology. Chain of blocks are developed, and that is why blockchain technology. This technology can be used for many other purposes as well. So the government is trying to exploit the blockchain technology for even voting system. Let's see what happens. Cryptocurrencies as a payment of medium is not regulated by any central authority, and whenever it is not regulated, it is very risky. If somebody has to invest in it, because there is no regulation, there is no legal backing if I lose money, so that is why it is at my own risk. But whenever there is a risky system of transaction, what also happens, lot of profits, windfall profits can also occur. So the government has tried to tax it. There are no rules and regulations or anything. There is no certain ban in it in India also. India hasn't banned it. Also, it is not completely in regulation of it. But there are certain things that the government has done. Union budget of 2022 said that a 30% tax on the gains from cryptocurrencies will be taken cognizance of, and 1% tax will be deducted as at source. Whenever tax deduction at source occurs, once the money originates, the tax is first of all deduced or reduced, and then that money is deposited. That is TDS. Cryptocurrency investors are required to report the calculated profit or loss. Both the things will be a part of their income, so that income tax can also be there. A 30% tax will be charged on the earnings from the transfer of digital currencies, as well as digital asset basically, that include cryptocurrencies and NFT, non-fungible tokens. I've already told you this. And if cryptocurrency is received as a gift or transferred, it is subjective to tax at the giftee's end. Somebody has gifted me the cryptocurrency, so I will have to pay the tax to the government. Okay. Moving on. Apart from Neeraj Chopra, who has won a gold medal at the World's Athletic Championship 2023, this happened at Budapest. Budapest is in Hungary. I mean, it is the capital of Hungary, and that is why this game was also known as Budapest 23. Alright. Who else has been the only other medalist ever in the World Athletic Championship? You have to guess this answer correct, because UPSC can ask us questions with respect to sports as well. Earlier, we used to see that sports were not very loved by the UPSC. But nowadays, since the last 2 to 3 years, we are seeing that the UPSC is also developing this love for sports, which was actually more so in state PCS. The correct answer will be Anju Bobby George. Option B will be correct. So India finished the World Athletics Championship 2023 at the Hungarian capital of Budapest. One medal was won, a gold, and finished the joint 18th in the medals table. Then Neeraj Chopra won India's only medal in Budapest, a gold in the men's javelin throw competition. He has sustained the streak, which is, I can say, it is unparalleled. I can also say that this is very unique in nature. First, he has also become the first Indian athlete to become a world champion. Now, this was India's third medal ever at the World Athletics Championship 2023. Anju Bobby George long jump bronze at Paris 2003 was won, and Neeraj Chopra's silver at Oregon 2022. Okay, moving on. When did the World Athletic Championship start? Actually, it was in 1912 only, when in Sweden. Following the closing ceremony of the Olympic Games, it was decided that an athletics championship can also occur. So the International Amateur Athletic Federation started as a governing body for the sports of track and field. So 2001 was the time when it became International Association of Athletics Federation, and in 2019 it changed its name to World Athletics. Okay, let's move forward. Which of the following countries will be a part of the G20 Troika 2024? What is a Troika? It is a group of those three countries in G20 that have a relevance to the presidency. Currently, like supposedly if I talk about the Troika, the current president is India, previous president is Indonesia, and the upcoming president is Brazil. So the Troika comprises of the present president of the G20, previous and the upcoming. This is the present one. And in 2024, it will be transferred to whom? The presidency of G20 to Brazil. And after that, South Africa. So for 2024, it will be the previous president India, current Brazil, and the upcoming South Africa. IPSA, just remember it like that. IPSA is also a forum that was launched in 2003. And it is purely coincidental that IPSA, or the South, Global South, is now dominating most of the times of G20. So the correct answer will be India, Brazil, South Africa. Current president for 2024, for 2025. Why does Troika occur? Troika occurs in order to ensure that there is continuity in policies of the G20. G20 can be called as an economic forum, and it all started in 1999, and it comprises of many important economies such as Argentina, we have Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, and the rest. It consists of 2/3 of the world's population and 85% of the total GDP. So it's a very hefty institute. Also, we can say that it doesn't have any permanent secretariat. UPSC can ask us, does it have a permanent secretariat or not? In form of a statement, it doesn't have a permanent secretariat. Please remember that. Okay. So Troika is a concept in which, in order to ensure that the policy of the G20 continues, the previous, present, and the future president are put in a basket. So for this current Troika, it was Indonesia, India, Brazil. Next time it will be India. India will be here, Brazil will be here, then we have South Africa. So as I told you about the coincidence, let's talk about IPSA as well. In order to ensure that South-South cooperation happens, the IPSA started in 2003. IPSA could use this global forum in order to ensure that the aims of IPSA are achieved or are in line with the G20. Alright, moving on. Consider the following statements. The areas of basmati rice production in India are Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttarakhand, and Western Uttar Pradesh. So far, 22 varieties of basmati rice have been notified under the Seeds Act of 1966. India accounts for about 80% of the basmati rice trade globally. So we have to answer how many statements is or are not correct. Students ask us, most of the teachers get this query, where do we get this information from? With respect to current affairs, I can assure you that sky is the limit. But I can also tell you that particular government websites will be the answer. Now you may not have the entire time to devote to current affairs and not even studying the static part. So that is why I am here. I am going to take out the information from the government websites, important government websites which are updated in nature. Sometimes it can happen that the government websites are also not updated. So we have to recheck that. So in order to ensure that you do not take that pain, I am here to help you through that. I will also provide you the PDF of it. So the areas of basmati rice production in India are Jammu and Kashmir, that is true. Himachal Pradesh is also correct. Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttarakhand, and Western Uttar Pradesh. There is a trend that we have to, there is a law in India that has to ensure that whatever new varieties of basmati occur, they are registered under the Seeds Act of 1966. So far, 34 varieties have been notified and not 22. India actually accounts for the major, it's the leading exporter also. Remember, leading exporter of basmati rice, and 80% of basmati rice is traded globally by India. First is correct, second is not, third is correct. How many are not correct? One only will be the not correct answer. India has recently imposed curbs on the export of basmati rice. Why? Recently, if you remember, India also had curbs on the export of non-basmati rice. But now many dealers are doing certain things, that they are exporting these normal rice, non-basmati rice, as basmati rice. So in order to curb this, the government has done it. Basmati is a long grain aromatic rice. If you eat a normal meal with it, it becomes a gourmet. It has such a presence on the dining table. Himalayan foot, it is generally cultivated in the Himalayan foothills, and it is extra long, tender grain that elongates at least twice its size when they are cooked. It is soft and fluffy in texture. Agroclimatic condition is a big factor in the cultivation of basmati rice, according to geographical areas. Also method of harvesting, processing and aging, and also attributes. These are the certain attributes that have a feature in the basmati rice. So far 34 varieties are there. And Jammu and Kashmir, as you can see, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, these are the certain states which have the cultivation of basmati rice. Alright, even Delhi. Okay, remember that. Moving on, India, which accounts for about 80% of the basmati rice exports, exported premium variety of rice to 75 countries in just recent times. Iraq, Iran, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, UAE, US. Here, mostly West Asia, even the USA. India exports to these many countries. With respect to Aditya L1, what does L1 stand for? I hope you can answer this question. The engine used in the launch vehicle, the name of the series of Sun missions of ISRO, different missions, the point from which ISRO will monitor the Sun, the special fuel which is used to keep Aditya L1 cool in a hot temperature. So what do we have to see? We have to see what does L1 stand for. L1 does not at all stand for the engine used in the launch vehicle. The launch vehicle that is going to be used is PSLV XL. Okay, PSLV will be used, not LVM. LVM was used to launch Chandrayaan 3. And the name of the series of Sun missions of ISRO will be Aditya, and it can be changed as well in the future whenever need be. But L1 does not refer to that. It also does not mean a special fuel that will be used. No. It's the point from which ISRO will monitor the Sun. That is the Lagrangian point 1 or Lagrange point 1. There are 5 points. We are going to talk about them, and that is why I asked you this question, because recently the ISRO chairman has said that Aditya L1, the satellite, is ready and reach Sriharikota. The launch will take place probably in September. We do not have a date as of yet. Okay, so Aditya L1 shall be the first ever space-based Indian mission to study the Sun. The complexity of different layers of the Sun will be, studied using 7 payloads. How many payloads? 7. Remember that. Okay. The spacecraft shall be placed in a halo orbit, which is around the Lagrange point 1. Here it is the Lagrange point 1. It is going to be shown over here. Here is the L1. Okay, that is why Aditya L1. Alright, we will talk about Lagrange point as well. So, it is 1.5 million kilometers away from the Earth, remember that, and a satellite placed in the halo orbit around the L1 point has the major advantage of continuously viewing the Sun. Eclipse will have no effect on it. Okay, solar activities and its effect on the space weather will be studied. Photosphere, chromosphere and the outermost layer of the Sun, corona, will also be studied. Using what? Electromagnetic and particle and magnetic field detectors. You have to remember that what method will be used, because UPSC can ask us in-depth question in relation to that as well. 4 payloads will directly view the Sun, while 3 will conduct in situ experiment. What is the issue with corona, as in why is it more hot than the rest of its layers? Why? We are going to study that. Coronal mass ejection, the flares that it flows out into the atmosphere, that will be studied. And pre-flare and flare activities. Before any flare takes place, what kind of activities occur that result in flares? Now, these are the different payloads which will be used in the Aditya L1. Moving on, there are 5 other locations around a planet's orbit where what happens, that the gravity is such, whatever spacecraft will be situated there, it will have a stable impact. That means 2 bodies may pull these particular objects in their direction in such a manner that eventually that object becomes stable in the middle. Okay, where the gravitational forces, the orbital motion of the spacecraft and the sun and planets interact in order to create a stable situation. From every part of the region, there could be certain movements, there could be certain pull that will create that particular object to remain at one place. That is what it is. And these points are known as Lagrangian points or L points. There are 5. You can see 5. L1, L2, L4, L3, L5. L1 has an advantage of continuously having the view of the sun. Also, 18th century Italian astronomer and mathematician Joseph Louis Lagrange. After him only the Lagrangian points have been named. Now, the thing is that because the Lagrangian point is the closest to the sun, what happens when any object is close to the sun? That means it will have huge gravitational pull, right? Gravitational pull. And when there will be a huge gravitational pull and the orbit is shorter, what will happen? More speed will be needed to go around the or orbit the sun. So that means the earth may not be able to have a proper collection of data with respect to the movement. There is a trick when any object is put directly in the middle of the earth and the sun. The earth's pull will be such that it will start pulling this object towards itself, the earth's gravity. A little bit of gravity will help in slowing down the motion of the spacecraft, and this is the advantage if it is put in between, directly in between. So that is why L1 has been chosen. Consider the following pairs. We have to match the zonal councils and the states that are related to it. I'm moving away so that you can look at it properly. Southern Zonal Council, Karnataka and Odisha. Central Zonal Council, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh. Western Zonal Council, Gujarat and Maharashtra. So how many pairs given above is or are correct? We have 5 zonal councils. Okay. We have Southern Zonal Council, in which we have Karnataka and not Odisha. Odisha is in the Eastern Zonal Council. In the Central Zonal Council, we do have Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh, and Gujarat and Maharashtra in the Western Zonal Council. So apart from first, second and third are correct. How many are correct? Pairs are correctly matched. 2 only will be the correct answer. Recently, the Union Home Minister and Cooperation Minister Amit Shahji will chair the Western Zonal Council meeting in Gandhinagar. Okay, we have 5 zonal councils which are divided like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But Northeastern is a separate council because they have separate needs. Sikkim is not a part of the Northeastern Council, remember that. Okay, so it's a statutory body which is established by an Act of Parliament. This is the State Reorganization of Act of 1956. This idea was first ever mooted by the Prime Minister, the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru ji, when he noticed that on the basis of linguism, there is so much rift among the states. So why not have a proper council in order to ensure that they also look at their commonalities? That is why zonal councils were created. 5 zonal councils were put in place. So it is the nodal agency for economic and social development among the Northeast region. I'm talking about here Northeastern Council, and for securing balanced and coordinated development for every zone. I'm also talking about every other zone over here. Alright, now Northeastern Council has another issue, different sorts of issues which are treated as a separate subject. So with respect to Northeastern, we have this. Now we talk about the separate zonal councils. I have already told you about this. So Northern Zonal Council will have Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, UT of Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh, Punjab, Rajasthan, NCT of Delhi and Union Territory of Chandigarh. What is their headquarter? For Northern Zonal Council, we have New Delhi. Alright. Then for another one, Central Zonal Council, we have Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh. Eastern, here Allahabad or Prayagraj now. Then Eastern Zonal Council, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Sikkim, West Bengal. Remember, Sikkim is not a part of the Northeastern Council. It is a part of the Eastern Council. There can be a good confusing question with respect to it. Western Zonal Council, we have Goa, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Union Territories of Daman and Diu and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Okay, so let's see their headquarters as well. For Eastern Zonal Council, we have Kolkata. For Western, we have Mumbai, and for Southern Zonal Council, Chennai. There can also be a match the following for the zonal councils and their headquarters. So remember them. Okay, I will provide the PDF, right? In that you will see. So moving on. Let's talk about southern as well. Sorry, I forgot this. Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Union Territory of Puducherry. Alright? This is a practice question for you. Consider the following. Dr. Vikram A. Sarabhai, Dr. K. Kasturi Ranjan, Shri A.S. Kiran Kumar, Professor M.G.K. Menon. So we have to arrange the tenure of the ISRO chiefs from the earliest to the latest. Okay, so these are the given options. If you answer it correctly, I will take your names in the upcoming class. Let me take the names of those students who have answered the last question correctly. Many of you have answered it correctly. C was the correct answer. So Suraj, Riya, Sukanya, Nikhil, Omkar, Piyush, Swati, Ankush, Malinath, Vibhav, Yash Jain, Ritu, Rohit, Sanjay, Mukul, Priya, Mohammed, Utkal, Simran, Anjali, Malesh, Abhishek, Mansi, Mr. Tiwari ji. Okay, got it that you have to answer it correctly. I will take your names in the upcoming class as well. Thank you so much.
StudyIQ IAS. अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।